The story begins with an ambulance rushing a patient to the hospital. The man on the stretcher dies on the way. He was a young man who had signed an organ donation form, meaning all his organs could be used to save someone else's life. Doctors immediately begin the surgery to extract his organs. His skin is incredibly tough, harder than even a rhino's, making the extraction extremely difficult. After some time, when the procedure is nearly complete, a nurse screams and runs out. Rushing into the operating theater, the doctors witness something horrifying. The patient is turning completely to ashes and disappearing before their eyes. Meanwhile, his heart is successfully transplanted into a young girl named Lisa. Strangely, her body does not reject the heart at all. In fact, she recovers almost instantly. Within a single day, the hospital even discharges her. But something unusual appears, a circular mark on her hand resembling a tattoo, something she never got. Lisa's father runs a taekwondo gym, and she has loved the martial arts since childhood. However, during a match, she suffered a heart attack which terrified her father, and he forbade her from practicing. One day, while her father was talking to their landlord, Lisa spins around and kicks a punching bag, sending it crashing through the ceiling. She had never been that strong even before her recovery. Excited to test her newfound strength, she heads out onto the street, ties her shoes, and runs full speed like a pro athlete. She even overtakes a scooter on the road. At one point, she feels so fast that it almost seems like she's flying. Suddenly, a slope appears, making it difficult to stop. A small truck is parked below, and she collides with it so forcefully that she almost flips it over. After receiving this new heart, Lisa has become incredibly powerful. Someone secretly records a video of her and uploads it online. On her taekwondo uniform, her name is visible. A boy sees her name and the gym's name, rushes there and tries to take a picture of her from afar. But Lisa quickly catches him. He is shocked. He never imagined a small girl could be that strong and unstoppable. At the same time, Lisa notices that Tom, the boy, has the same mysterious circular mark on his hand. Tom explains that he also received an organ from the same donor, which gave him superpowers. He reveals that one man could donate 6 organs, meaning 6 people in total would gain super abilities. Tom now wants to find the other superpowered individuals, and the very next day, Lisa meets the third person. That day, Lisa is secretly participating in a race because the winner will receive a pair of extremely expensive shoes. She easily leaves everyone behind and celebrates her victory, admiring her new shoes. Suddenly, an older woman approaches them, handing out free drinks. She had received a kidney transplant and now fully recovered. Lisa and Tom immediately check her hands, but see no strange marks. However, when the woman turns around, they notice a circular mark on her waist, another sign of superpower. The scene then shifts to a lavish mansion where an old man named Mino lies on the brink of death. Outside, the patient's eldest daughter calls the doctor, panic in her voice. "You said he would be fine, but there's no improvement in his condition." Suddenly, the old man sits up on the bed and says, "I'm hungry. Bring me something to eat." He now seems much better. On his hand, a strange circular mark has appeared. It's clear that this wealthy old man also possesses superpowers. Meanwhile, in an electronics store, we see a young boy. He snaps his fingers casually, and all the TVs in front of him instantly turn off. Wherever he goes, the electricity starts fluctuating. This boy is named Zero. He crosses the street and enters a building, using his powers to dominate the gaming machines, winning everything effortlessly. With all his winnings, he begins buying luxurious items. Zero is also one of the 6 people who received super-powered organs. He's living life on easy mode, enjoying his newfound abilities to the fullest. We then return to Lisa, who is having a meal with Tom and a woman named Sophia. They are discussing their superpowers. Tom explains, "I got new lungs. That's why my strength is linked to my breathing. If I exhale forcefully, I can create a storm." Sophia admits, "I haven't felt any power yet." Tom reassures her, "Don't worry. Once all the special people are together, your powers will awaken naturally." Suddenly, the lights above them flicker, and Zero makes his entrance. He already knows these 3 and explains that he can sense from a distance if someone has superpowers because he got eyes from the transplant. Tom immediately feels uneasy about this new boy. He warns Lisa, "We can't blindly trust everyone. One of us could be selfish and want all this power for themselves. We have to be careful." The next day, Lisa receives a strange message on her phone. Zero is asking for help. He had been caught cheating during a casino game, and now the security guards want all his winnings back. What a mess! With a simple flick of his fingers, he can manipulate electricity. Lisa, Tom, and Sophia rush to help him, but Tom is reluctant. Scratching his leg, he excuses himself to the restroom, clearly not trusting Zero. Lisa's inner hero awakens. She grabs a straw from Sophia's drink and slides it under Tom's nose. He sneezes violently, and the blast of air knocks all the thugs away. Justice served.
Meanwhile, back to the rich old man, Mino. He gets into a heated argument with his partner. Things escalate so badly that Mino grabs his partner by the neck and drains all the life from him. Suddenly, he ages dramatically, yet Mino himself becomes somewhat younger. He moves forward and touches a plant, draining all its life as well and leaving it completely dried out. Next, we see John in a factory, pressuring the workers to hurry. "We have to work through the night," he yells. A worker protests, "Sir, this is too much. We have lives too." During their scuffle, the alarm goes off and a worker falls from above due to poor safety measures. Unseen, John silently places his hand over the injured worker. Moments later, the worker's wound heals completely, but John endures intense pain in secret, quietly suffering on the side. Meanwhile, Tina, the daughter of the wealthy old man, realizes that her father's newfound power must have come from the transplant. Immediately, Lisa told her team to track down everyone who had received superpowers through the organ transplants. Soon, her assistant managed to locate all of them. At this moment, the trio, Lisa, Tom, and Sophia, were riding on top of Sophia's car, fleeing from the gang members at the casino who were now seeking revenge. The assistant was right on their tail. 3 cars raced recklessly down the streets, chaos everywhere. Lisa kept maneuvering the vehicle, pushing it faster and faster. Before long, she had left the chasing cars far behind. But the casino goons were relentless and refused to give up the chase. Thinking quickly, Tom grabbed some drinks from the car and hurled them at the gang. A white liquid splashed onto their windshields, blinding them and making them veer off course. They narrowly escaped the 4 thugs, but the speed of the car caused them to crash straight into a barbecue restaurant. Acting casual, they sat inside, pretending to be waiting for a waiter. Night fell, and they finally exited the restaurant safely. Meanwhile, Tom and Zero got into a heated fight. "Because of you, everyone nearly died today," Tom shouted. Their battle spread far and wide, scattering everyone on separate paths. Lisa felt heartbroken watching this unfold. She had been on medical leave for an entire year, had no friends, and school had become a distant memory. The time she spent with Tom and Sophia had become everything to her, and now all of it seemed lost. The next day, after things calmed down, Tom approached Lisa to apologize. "I got carried away in anger. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me," he said. Lisa pretended to be stubborn at first, but eventually accepted his apology. Together, they began planning to reunite all 4 of them in one place. Meanwhile, Tina's assistant showed her recorded videos of the group. Tina made a chilling decision. They must capture these superpowered people. By extracting their powers, they could create incredible medicines, cures for diseases that no one else could treat, and she would become even wealthier. By now, Lisa, Sophia, and Zero had reached the meeting point, while Zero had already identified who had received the liver transplant. They were all waiting for the arrival of the new member, ready to locate him together. Back at the factory, John was speaking to his senior. "Sir, we need to increase safety measures for the workers," he insisted. But management cared little about the workers' lives. John faced enormous pressure, working through his lunch break to finish his tasks. His exhausted co-workers went to eat, unaware that a gas tank nearby had begun to leak. Outside, the 3 superheroes waited for Tom to join them. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the factory. John rushed to evacuate the workers, hoping to minimize casualties. But one worker got trapped behind a safety door. Panic surged through John. He grabbed his helmet and tried breaking the window, but nothing worked. Just in time, Lisa arrived. She kicked open the door with incredible force, simultaneously clearing flying gas canisters from the explosion. Yet the inner electronic security door remained almost impenetrable. Now it was Zero's turn. With a single snap of his fingers, the powerful door opened effortlessly. Tom, slightly delayed, finally reached the scene. Everywhere was filled with thick smoke. Injured people were nowhere to be seen. Then Zero snapped his fingers again, activating all the phone's ringtones. Immediately, Tom could locate every worker trapped inside. Using his incredible lung power, he could hold his breath for a long time and move through the smoke with ease, rescuing the injured ones one by one. When an injured worker was brought out, John used his unique ability to heal him instantly. But the effort took a toll on John, and he started coughing up blood. Sophia realized that poisonous gas had entered John's lungs. Thinking quickly, she grabbed his hand and connected it with Tom's lung power. As Tom's breath strength merged into John, he instantly recovered, and Sophia discovered the extent of her own power. The smoke inside the factory thickened rapidly, so the group quickly devised a plan to escape. Everyone began moving toward the exit, but halfway, Sophia suddenly stopped. They had left Zero behind. Without hesitation, Tom held his breath and went back inside to find him. Everyone expected that Zero would simply blow away the smoke, but instead, Zero began breathing out the smoke himself. Somehow, the duo managed to get out safely. The scene was unusual, but mission accomplished. Zero emerged unharmed. Afterwards, the five heroes headed to a nearby restaurant for a meal. John explained to everyone, "I can take away the pain of others. I can absorb it into myself. Sometimes it becomes too much, but a little rest and water help me recover." Working together on this mission, saving people, forged a strong bond between them all. The next day, John went to the hospital to check on the injured workers. In the lift, he unexpectedly ran into the elderly man, Mino, whose company he worked for. John saluted him, but accidentally revealed the strange mark on his palm. He examined it closely. "Is this a tattoo?" he asked. "No, sir. I recently had a liver transplant. Somehow this mark appeared afterwards."
Mino's eyes narrowed. He asked if anything else had changed inside John. Feeling awkward, John just said, "No, sir, I feel fine. That's all." Mino, satisfied for the moment, began plotting. He memorized John's name and workplace before leaving. That night, John was working as a driver to earn some extra money. His passenger? None other than Tina's assistant. Soon, John awoke to find himself in a hospital. Tina had instructed the doctors, remove his liver immediately. Before the operation could start, Mino arrived. His intentions were far from pure. He asked the doctor, if part of the liver remains, will it regenerate? When the doctor nodded, Mino grabbed John, trying to extract his powers. But John resisted. Mino couldn't drain his strength. Frustrated, he tried on a nearby doctor, instantly killing him by absorbing his life. Mino realized John's powers only worked on ordinary people, not other superpowered ones. Mino then commanded, remove 90% of his liver from me, leave 10% so it regenerates. But the liver wasn't fully available. Tina ordered her team, capture the remaining superpowered individuals. Meanwhile, Tom had just stepped out of a store when a group of well-dressed bodyguards cornered him. They pressed him against a wall, trying to knock him out with anesthetics. But he wasn't breathing. It was his lung power that saved him. They resorted to tickling him, forcing him to inhale, and finally, he was knocked unconscious. Sophia and Zero were also attacked and captured shortly after. In the end, Lisa was surrounded right at her home's entrance. Seeing the gang, her father told her, "Son, stay calm, I'll handle this." But Master G, the old trainer, was now only left with enough energy to train 14-year-old kids. The stakes were higher than ever. Maintaining the illusion for her father, Lisa was secretly taking down the enemies in such a way that her father believed he was the one fighting them. Her dad thought he had defeated all the enemies, while the real work was being done by Lisa herself. She had become so fast and precise that whenever someone turned around, she would appear casually sitting on a bench, perfectly calm. Once all the thugs fled, Lisa's father ran up to her, asking her, "Son, are you okay?" Lisa was safe, but the rest of the superpowered people had been captured. Tina's team had locked them in a special jail designed to suppress their powers. Meanwhile, after a liver transplant, the elderly Mino regained his vitality. He looked younger than his own daughter now, back in the prime of his youth. Deep down, Tina had been waiting for her father's death to seize control of the company. But now, seeing him alive, she realized it might be her own downfall instead. Mino went home, took a bath, and was thrilled to see his rejuvenated reflection in the mirror. Suddenly, darkness enveloped him, and he found himself in a mysterious place, facing a strange power with outstretched arms. Mino stepped forward, trying to grasp the hands of this unknown force. The entity's face flashed between young and old in an instant. Furious, Mino pulled his hand back, realizing it was all happening in his mind. Even the injury on his hand from broken glass healed instantly, but he was still unsatisfied. Mino decided he would acquire all the organs, absorbing every superpower. He wanted to become a god, someone people would worship. Tina could do nothing against her father's overwhelming strength. Mino stormed into the jail Tina had prepared and began defeating her team. No one could stand against him. He quickly located 3 of the captured superpowered individuals. Meanwhile, Zero was trying to snap his toes since his hands were bound in an unusual way. When he succeeded, 2 workers approached to restrain him. Using his toes, Zero sent Lisa a message, revealing his location. Another snap unlocked Sophia's jail door. Before they could act further, a doctor knocked him out. Lisa prepared to rescue her friends. Once her father discovered the situation, he joined her, full of confidence from their previous victories. Zero's 1 cornea had already been removed, but fortunately his second eye remained safe. Thanks to timely revival, his remaining eye stayed intact. Instead of harming Zero, Mino handed him to John. Slowly, John's liver began to regenerate, recovering his strength. John grabbed Zero's hand and healed the injured eye with his new abilities. To demonstrate his power, Mino organized a public event, inviting people with incurable diseases. Seeing Mino in his youthful prime left everyone stunned. He displayed his might by breaking down a wall that still bore his aged form. But rather than inspiring fear or devotion, the display only scared people. They were awestruck, but not reverent. Mino immediately changed his tactics. He grabbed the hands of a crippled man and, using the power he had absorbed from John, completely healed him. Then he moved to a severely ill young girl and restored her to full health. The crowd gasped in awe. People were now genuinely seeing him as a god. Everyone dropped to their knees in reverence.
Suddenly, Mino sensed Lisa approaching. With a snap of his fingers, the path cleared for her. He theatrically seated himself on a massive throne as Lisa and her father arrived. Lisa immediately realized that this man was draining everyone's powers. Without hesitation, she kicked him. Mino's hand genuinely broke, but as soon as he drank water, the fracture healed instantly. At that moment, Sophia and Tom joined the scene. The 3 friends were reunited. Furious, Mino shouted, "Perfect! So everyone has come together. Now, quickly, hand over your organs to me." Lisa's father, filled with overconfidence, charged toward Mino, but Mino swatted him away with a twist of his hand. Using her agility, Lisa managed to protect her father from severe harm. The epic showdown between Lisa and Mino began. Both possessed superpowers. Explosions and debris flew all around them. Lisa had only the power of a single organ, while Mino had powers from 3. He quickly began to overpower her. Seeing this, Tom and Sophia rushed in to help. Tom unleashed a powerful gust of wind, sending Mino flying back. Enraged, Mino slammed his finger into Tom's forehead, knocking him unconscious. Then he grabbed Sophia, but she began transferring her power to herself, shocking Mino. He realized that Sophia could actually manipulate and absorb powers. Mino roared, demanding, "Give me the rest of your powers now. Then I won't even need to steal organs." Just then, Zero and John arrived, joining the battle. Now all 5 of them stood united against Mino. Mino gathered all his strength, preparing to crush them all in one strike. Lisa stood at the front. She blew a sharp whistle, signaling Tom. Understanding the cue, Tom sent a blast of wind toward Lisa, propelling her forward. With renewed energy and determination, Lisa struck Mino with a powerful punch, refusing to back down. The stage was set for the ultimate clash of superpowers.
5 heroes against the godlike Mino. Every punch, every gust, every explosion shook the ground, and the battle for survival and justice had officially begun. Lisa couldn't fight alone. That's why all 5 of them combined their powers to support her. But Mino was unbelievably strong. He was controlling the surrounding electricity with his powers, while Zero tried to attack using lightning generated from his fingers. Yet even that wasn't enough to defeat Mino. Soon, massive pillars of the hall began to crack and fall. Statues toppled over, revealing the steel structure beneath. Despite all this chaos, the crowd below remained devoted, worshiping their new god. Mino, though wounded, pulled water from the floor to instantly heal all his injuries. With a terrifying display of power, he flung them all like balls in different directions. He grabbed Lisa by the throat, causing blood to spill from her mouth, and reached for Sophia. But the 5 heroes united, holding Mino down. Sophia quickly transferred her healing power into Lisa, stripping Mino of his regeneration. Now, Lisa had grown many times stronger than him. She unleashed her full might, pounding Mino like a punching bag. Moments later, he collapsed, unconscious, onto the floor. The collapsing building above threatened the followers below. Using teamwork, the heroes saved everyone just in time. But Mino seized one last chance to strike, attempting to steal their powers. In the nick of time, Lisa's father spun around and kicked Mino away, draining the last of his power. He instantly reverted to his old, frail self and collapsed back onto the throne from which he had risen. As the crowd witnessed the real form of their so-called god, the truth became undeniable. Mino had lost everything: his powers, his dominance, and his followers. The heroes stood victorious, proving that courage, teamwork, and heart could triumph over even the strongest force. And now, a question for you. If you had the chance, which superpower would you choose from these heroes?